My name is Caleb Thorne, 25, born of a ghost and raised in a house built on secrets. My stepfather, Graham Vale, ran our home like a gated museum, polished hardwood, stiff smiles, conversations with hidden blades. My mother smiled through everything, always too elegant, too silent. I wasn't part of that world. I was the mistake they couldn't fully erase. Tonight it was raining, the kind of rain that makes every streetlight shimmer like a threat. I stood at the front gate of our Westlake Hills estate, soaked, shivering, holding a duffel bag with my laptop, one clean shirt, and a framed photo of the man I barely knew. My real father, James Thorne. The keypad blinked red. Wrong code. I typed again, slower this time. Fingers trembling. Red. Then the intercom hissed. Caleb. Graham's voice, cool, precise. Don't make this harder than it has to be. I stepped closer. Let me in. You were warned. This isn't your house. It never was. I just need a place to stay a few days. Silence. Then, you made your choices. Now live with them. Click. The line went dead. The gate stayed locked. I stood there, rain sliding down my face like a confession. 2 days ago, I was living in a guest room upstairs, coding freelance gigs at 2 a.m., eating leftovers like a ghost they forgot to evict. Now I was on the street. No job, no friends close by, no money. Only that damn duffel. And a metal card my dad left in a sealed envelope labeled, "Use this only if you have nothing left." I never did find out what happened to him. One day he disappeared, presumed dead. My mother cried for a week, then remarried Graham Vale like nothing broke. Funny thing is, something always did feel broken. Back then, James Thorne was just a story they didn't want to tell. But tonight I had no one. Nothing. Except that card. And a memory. If you ever need help, real help, go to Stellar Bank. Ask for Marcus Keene. Show him this. My dad's voice. Deep. Calm. From the only voicemail he ever left me. I looked at the card. No logo. No name. Just a shimmering surface and a chip that caught the streetlight like a knife edge. I flagged down a rideshare. Driver didn't ask questions. Just glanced at my soaked clothes and nodded like he'd seen worse. The bank was closed when I arrived, but someone was waiting. Inside the main lobby, lights were on. One man, older, silver hair, dark tailored coat, watching me through the glass like he already knew who I was. Marcus Keene. He unlocked the door. "Mr. Thorne." I nodded. He didn't smile. "Follow me." We walked through quiet halls, past steel doors, digital locks, layers of security that felt more like a military base than a bank. Everything smelled of leather and cold metal. I held out the card. He didn't take it. "Where did you get this?" "My father." He paused. "Then what's his name?" "James Thorne." Something shifted in his eyes. He took the card, inserted it into a glass reader. It beeped once. Then, the lights flickered. A screen lit up. Marcus leaned forward, stared. His chair fell over. He stood there, frozen. Slowly he turned to me, his voice barely above a whisper. "Mr. Thorne, you need to see this." Marcus Keene didn't blink. His eyes scanned the screen once, twice, then a third time like he was making sure he wasn't hallucinating. $1.2 billion, he muttered. The air shifted, the kind of silence you feel in your teeth. He turned the monitor so I could see. An offshore account. Cayman Islands. Clean. Untraceable. Under one name. James Thorne. I stepped back. That can't be real. Keene looked up. This account's been dormant for over 15 years. Then, suddenly activated. Last night. From a secure terminal in Westlake Hills. My stomach twisted. "Graham." Keene leaned in. "This card wasn't supposed to be used. Not unless." He didn't finish the sentence. Security footage flashed on the side screen. My stepfather entering a private vault room. 2 nights ago. Using a biometric override. How did he get access? Keen's lips tightened. He shouldn't have. Cut scene. The door slammed behind us as he locked it manually. A high-pitched click echoed like a gunshot. There's more, he said, guiding me into a sealed office behind the vault. The lights here were colder, buzzing softly. Cameras blinked red in the corners. Your father was a cybersecurity engineer. Did you know that? No, I said. No one ever talked about him. Keen pulled out a worn folder, placed it on the table like it might explode. He didn't just vanish. He buried something. A program. Prototype-level AI. Autonomous. Predictive. And encrypted behind this account. I shook my head. Why would Graham be after that? Keen gave a dry laugh. Because whatever's behind this firewall, it's worth more than the money. Tension coiled tight in my spine. He opened the folder. A photo. Grainy. Black and white. A group of men. One of them, my father. Another Graham. They worked together. My throat went dry. Keen whispered, Your stepfather and James were co-founders. Until James disappeared. Then Graham launched Veil Tech 2 years later. The patents. Your father's. The world tilted. Are you telling me Graham stole everything from my father? Keen nodded. Worse. He might have made sure James never came back. My heart pounded. Then why am I still alive? He looked at me carefully. Because he didn't know James left you the key. Silence. Then the lights flickered. An alert popped up on Keen's desktop. Intrusion detected. Level 3 override. Someone was inside the bank. Do you have a back way out? I asked. He grabbed a flash drive, inserted it into the terminal. I'm downloading everything we can before they wipe it remotely. Who's they? Who do you think? His voice was tight. You think Graham runs Veil Tech solo? He has backers, intelligence contractors, private equity groups, people who don't like loose ends. A deep thud echoed from the hallway. They're not going to let you walk away with this, Keen added. Then we don't walk, I said. We run. He shoved the flash drive into my palm. Take this to someone who knows how to read it. There's a name on it, Lucian Briggs. Former federal investigator. Burned. Lives in Amarillo. You've got one shot. What about you? He shook his head. I'll stall them. No. Another thud. Closer. Keen pulled open a panel behind the file cabinet. A service tunnel. Go, Caleb. I hesitated. People lie. Numbers don't, he said. This account? It's the tip of the spear. I climbed into the tunnel. He closed the panel behind me. Darkness. I crawled. Dust in my mouth. Pipes above me. Metal beneath. Then I heard it, distant shouting. A gun cocking. I didn't look back. Crawled faster. My hands shook. Flash drive in one. The card in the other. Cut to. I emerged in an alley behind the bank. Heart hammering. Lights from the main road flickered like sirens. Rain again. Cold. Hard. The smell of metal and gasoline. A black SUV turned the corner. Stopped. I froze. The back window rolled down, just enough for me to see a silhouette. Then the voice. You shouldn't have used that card, Caleb. And just like that, my past wasn't the only thing chasing me anymore. The SUV didn't move. Neither did I. My lungs froze as the rain slid down the back of my neck like ice fingers. I couldn't see the driver's face. Just a silhouette. Calm. Too calm. Then the window rolled up again. No screech. No chase. The SUV turned. Slid away into the dark like it had never been there. Cut scene. I ducked behind a dumpster. Checked my phone. Battery 9%. One signal bar. I tapped Renee Marsh's contact. She picked up on the third ring. Where are you? Her voice was sharp. Awake. I need help. Now. Silence. Meet me at the old Junction Motel. Room 7. Don't bring anyone. Don't talk to anyone. The line went dead. I stared at the screen, then started walking. Some people say life turns on a moment. I disagree. It turns on a whisper, a flicker, the decision to keep walking when you should have stopped. Cut to Junction Motel. Sign half lit. One of the bulbs buzzed like it was shorting out. Room 7's door opened before I knocked. Renee stood barefoot, jeans and a tank top, hair tied back, phone still glowing in her hand. Behind her, maps, folders, 2 laptops open. You look like hell, she said. Feels worse. She didn't smile. I dropped onto the bed. She pulled the curtains tight. Tell me. I handed her the flash drive. Marcus Keene gave me this, and someone's already tried to kill me for it. She inserted it into her laptop. Fingers flew. Eyes scanned. She froze. This isn't just account access. This is proprietary neural code, defense-grade encryption, and metadata links to a company that doesn't exist. Neurocore, I said. Her gaze shot to mine. How do you know that name? My father's files. Keene showed me footage. Said it was what my dad died for. She whispered he didn't die. He vanished. There's a difference. Cut scene. Renee paced the room. This goes deeper than financials. This code could rebuild AI systems from the ground up. Adaptive. Weaponized. Predictive control over entire markets. Governments would kill for it. Corporations already are. I stood. Why would my father give me access? Because you're the only one who can't be erased. A beat. Then she said, there's something you should know. She opened a second laptop, pulled up a legal file, scanned her fingerprint. A document opened, dated 15 years ago. A second will. James Thorne's. It named me as the sole heir. Not my mother. Not Graham. Just me. My legs went numb. He filed this days before his disappearance, she said, and sealed it under witness protection clearance. Why? Because he knew someone was trying to kill him. Another beat. Renee looked down. I was the one who filed it. What? I knew your father. Before he married Vivian. Before any of this. He trusted me. I stepped back. You never told me. I couldn't. They watched me for years. I lost my job. My license. My life. You lied. I protected you. Thunder cracked. The lights flickered. We both froze. Then, a rustle outside the window. I lunged forward, pulled the curtain back. Nothing. But the curtain moved again on its own. No wind. I grabbed Renee. We need to leave. Now. We grabbed only what we could carry. Flash drive. Laptops. Keys. As we reached the door, I saw it. A photo slipped under the crack. Black and white. Me. Standing inside the bank. The card visible on the desk. Typed on the back. You're not the only one he left instructions for. They know about the card, and they know I have it. We drove in silence for 50 miles. Renee took the wheel, eyes fixed ahead, both hands tight. The flash drive sat in the cup holder between us, like it could detonate at any moment. Who else knew about the second will? I asked. Only 2 people, she said. Me and James. The highway blurred under the tires. Fog rolled in like a second skin over the windshield. You ever think maybe some things are better buried? She said, eyes still on the road. I didn't answer. My thoughts were louder than the engine. Everyone I knew either lied, disappeared, or wanted me dead. And now apparently I owned $1 billion AI, a sealed inheritance, and a target painted across my back. Cut scene. We stopped for gas at a rest stop just outside Amarillo. Lights flickered above. Empty vending machines. Broken security camera hanging by a wire. Renee filled up. I stepped inside the bathroom. Flickering light. Single stall. I turned on the faucet. Water sputtered, then gushed red. I stared. Blood? No. Rushed. I splashed it away, heart still pounding. Paranoia doesn't mean you're wrong, I muttered. When I stepped back outside, I saw it. The same black SUV. Parked across the lot. No driver. Just sitting there. Engine off. Windows dark. I walked back slowly. Kept my eyes low. We're being followed, I said. Renee didn't look surprised. They've been on us since Junction. I didn't say anything because I needed to confirm. You're telling me you knew? I'm telling you I didn't panic. Cut scene. We left the rest stop. Took the long route off the main road. Renee cut across a dirt path that led to a stretch of abandoned rail tracks. Where are we going? To someone who owes me. Old warehouse. Paint peeling. Graffiti tagging the walls. A broken Denton salvage, sign barely hanging by chains. Renee knocked twice. Pause. Once. A sliding panel opened. One I looked through. Then the door unlocked. Inside it smelled like oil, sweat, and metal. Lucien Briggs. Tall. Gray beard. Worn leather jacket. Ex-Fed. Burned twice. One by the government, once by his own son. You brought him, he said. He's the heir, Renee replied. He looked me up and down. Doesn't look like one. Neither did James. Lucien waved us in. Walls lined with files. Screens showing encrypted channels. Police scanner muttering in the background. What do you need? He asked. Renee handed over the flash drive. Decrypt. Fast. Before someone kills us. Lucien inserted it into a tower rig. Multiple displays lit up. Encrypted data spilled open. Algorithms. Names. Transactions. Then a folder labeled DMC_clause_T7. Lucien opened it. Inside one video. Timestamp. 10 days before my father's disappearance. James Thorne sat in front of a desk. Eyes hollow. Bruises on his face. If you're seeing this, I'm gone. I leaned forward. My co-founder, Graham Vale, stole our research. But the core AI is still locked. Only my blood can unlock it. If he tries without it, it corrupts. Lucien froze the frame. Biometric encryption, he said. Tied to genetic sequencing. That's why you're still breathing. My jaw clenched. But that's not all, Lucien continued. There's a clause in the code. A release trigger. It activates if the asset is accessed by anyone but the named heir. A kill switch. I asked. Worse. A leak protocol. Everything goes public. Every secret. Every illegal transaction. Every manipulation Graham and his partners ever built the empire on. Your dad wired a time bomb, Lucien said. And he made you the trigger. My chest tightened. Why the hell would he do that? Lucien looked me dead in the eye. Because you were the only one he trusted to burn it all down. Cut scene. The door behind us slammed open. A flash. Gunmetal. Masked men. Renee screamed. Lucien reached for something under the table. But a shot rang out first. He collapsed. Blood hit the screen. The drive ejected. I grabbed it. Ran. Renee behind me. Bullets sparked off the metal walls. We crashed through the back exit. Out into the freezing night. No time to scream. No time to cry. Just one thought ringing in my head. If I wanted the truth, I had to survive the people willing to kill to keep it dead. Rain hit the motel window like gunfire. I stared at the dark room. Renee sat across, laptop open. The flash drive lay between us, small, black, heavy as a guillotine. She said nothing for a while, then whispered, "We have 30 minutes before the leak protocol triggers." I froze. 30 minutes. Outside, thunder rolled. The motel sign buzzed. The world held its breath. Renee typed. Rapid. Fingers like pistons. "Encrypted channels," she muttered. We push this to 3 independent public servers. If someone tries to scrub it, it rebounds. Like a shotgun blast. I nodded. Fear in my chest. Rage too. Power to the people, I thought, only not for idealism. For survival. For truth. Cut scene. We left the room. Street lamps flickered along the empty parking lot. My hoodie soaked. The smell of damp asphalt stung the air. I could taste it. The black SUV sat across lot. Engine off. Doors shut. Silhouette still. No light. I stopped walking. Heart dropped. Don't look back, Renee hissed. I should have listened. The SUV door slid open slowly. We ran. Bullets cracked. Shards of glass. The motel window exploded, slow motion. One bullet shredded the rear tire of my rental car. We sprinted across rain-slick asphalt. I felt blood on my cheek, sharp, salty. We dove into a closed store's loading bay. Metal shutter. Cold concrete. I pressed against the wall, gasping. Renee crouched beside me, hand over her mouth. Plan B. She didn't answer, just pressed a key on her phone. Drone took off somewhere above our heads. From the open loading bay, I saw it. The SUV mechanic limping toward the street lamp's glow, flashlight in hand. Distant sirens tore through the night. Cut to black. Cut scene. Lights came on again. A white hazmat van blocked the alley exit. 2 men in black vests hopped out. Hands up, a voice bellowed. Renee raised hers. I did, though I held the flash, drive tight in one fist. Federal investigators, the man said. He had a badge, a warrant. You are under protective custody. I blinked. Protective custody? They bundled us into the van. No questions. No explanation. Doors slammed. Engine roared. We drove. Rain outside. Windscreen wipers slicing through darkness. One of the agents, a woman, slid into the front seat. Name, she asked. I told her. She glanced at Renee. Your defense counsel, Marsh? Renee nodded. The agent exhaled slowly. You two did good. That code you tried to leak. It just flagged one of the largest securities fraud networks in North America. We traced it back to Vail Tech and offshore entities, corporate shell games, money laundering, human trafficking, everything under their umbrella. The van jolted. I closed my eyes. Renee reached over and squeezed my hand. Your dad went to war, she said quietly. He left you the trigger. Cut scene. We arrived at a safe house. Black SUV's lights flashed in reflection, far off but unmistakable. Inside, reporters' phones lit up. Messages pinged. Headlines drafted. Servers primed. We watched the screen together. The folder opened. The code. The ledgers. The connections. Markets crashed. Vail Tech's stock nosedived. Offshore accounts frozen. Regulators issued immediate freeze orders. Caleb Thorne, whistleblower. Cut. The door burst open. A figure in a suit stood in the threshold. Gun in hand. Mask low. I raised my hands again. He moved slow. Confident. Too confident. Good job, he said. You destroyed everything. Now, let's make this clean. Sign this. He held out a document, 2 pages. I scanned quickly. A transfer of all assets to the shell company. Release of liability. Immunity for Graham Vail and all associated. Never, I said. He smirked. Then you die here, and no one hears your name again. Renee gasped. The man's finger tightened on the trigger. Time slowed. A framed photo tilted on the shelf. The glass cracked. I closed my eyes. Remembered my dad's voicemail. If you ever need real help, show this card. My body moved before my mind could catch up. I lunged to the corner. Grabbed a heavy lamp. Smash. Glass shattered. Bullets bounced off metal. He staggered. The shot went wide through the window. Red rain on concrete. I kicked at his ankle. He dropped the gun. It skidded across the floor. Renee grabbed it. Lights pulled in, floodlights, sirens, chaos. In seconds, agents burst in, guns raised. The suit man froze. Sweat dripping, chest rising fast. FBI, shouted one. He raised his hands slowly. FBI. Handcuffs. Cut scene. We sat on the curb. Rain dripped off our jackets. I looked at Renee. We did it. She shook. This isn't over. A phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. A voice low. This account isn't just money. It's a target. And someone already pulled the trigger. Rain pounded the rooftop like an alarm. Wind tore at the sleeves of my jacket. Neon city lights shimmered through the haze. Everything felt razor-sharp, alive. Graham Vale stepped out into the storm. Wet hair plastered to his forehead. Suit drenched. Eyes cold as winter steel. You think you're the heir, he shouted, the rain swallowing his words. I held a small tablet in my hand. The screen glowed in his face. Video paused. Frame frozen. Watch this, I said. The video flickered. My father, on tape, bruised, tired, but glaring into the lens. I leave everything to my son, he said. Everything. The file name stamped. Trust_video Abby. Graham's lip curled. Old fictions, he spat. Stories to fool the naive. I pressed play. As the tape rolled, light reflected on Graham's face. You saw the flicker. A spasm of recognition. I won't lie. I held my breath. The man caved. He reached under his coat. A gun. Damn legacy, he growled. The barrel glinted. Rain blurred the edges. Then cut. Suddenly, lights burst on. Floodlights from the neighboring building bathed the rooftop in harsh white. Police sirens twisted in the distance. A drone's red recording light hovered overhead. I didn't think. I moved. The tablet smashed against the concrete. Idove. Gunfire thundered. Metal fragmented. Rain lashed. A bullet grazed my shoulder. Pain seared. I rolled. Found a pipe behind a vent shaft. Grabbed it. Swung. Bone-dry adrenaline. Impact. Graham staggered. Behind him, a second figure materialized from the shadows. Black clothes, mask, gun low aimed. I squeezed the pipe again. Crack. His rifle clattered across the metal rooftop. I didn't stop. I ran. Rain streamed down. Thunder crashed overhead. I thrust into the drone's red light. Camera, I flashed. Don't move! A voice boomed from a megaphone held by an agent climbing over the railing. I froze. Graham tried to turn. Held up his hands. Around us, floodlights spun. Helicopter blades whipped overhead. Spotlight cut through rain like a blade. They cuffed him. I collapsed forward. Wet. Exhausted. Alive. Cut. Scene. Courtroom. White walls. Bright lights. Cameras. Reporters whispering. Graham and his associates arrested. Charges. Fraud, embezzlement, conspiracy, attempted murder, racketeering. A rack so long it swallowed their empire whole. I stood in the back. Renee beside me. Silent. Eyes red. Outside the courthouse, cameras popped. Flashbulbs. Faces. Questions. But I didn't answer them. I looked at my father's old card in my pocket. The chip. The metal. I said it quietly to myself. Power built on lies dies in truth. Cut scene. Weeks later. A small house on the edge of the city. White picket fence. Overgrown rose bushes. Quiet. Rain soft. I hold a small child's doll. White dress, faded ribbon. I place it on the soil beside a marble headstone. The name, Marisol Valethorn. I kneel. Touch the grass. Whisper, I made it. Wind rustles. Clouds break. Dawn light touches the gravestone. Behind me, Renee sets down 2 mugs of tea. Steam rises. Coffee scent strong and gentle. She doesn't say anything. I don't need words. We share a look. Uneasy. Tender. Hopeful. Cut scene. 1 month later. The windows of the new office building, headquarters of Legacy Corps, rebuilt from the ashes of Vale Tech, reflect sunrise gold. People walking in. ID badges. Wake-up routines. Lives restarting. I enter the lobby. Card in hand. Swipe. Door pulses green. Lights hum. I breathe. Truth went public. The world saw. Assets frozen. Victims finally finding justice. Lives disrupted may be restored. But for me, this isn't about money. It's about memory. Justice. A name. I pause. Look around. Clean lines. Quiet hum. I whisper again, softer. To a future we must earn every breath. Rooftop rain, gunfire, fear, betrayal. All of it ended there. Now I walk forward. The screens light up. Engineers typing. Coffee pouring. Soft chatter. Legacy Corps alive. Real. Transparent. I left the card in my pocket that day, but I don't need it anymore. Because power without purpose is poison. I step into the light.